Welcome to the Recovery Daily podcast. I'm your host, Rachel Abbasi. I'm a grateful recovering alcoholic and stroke survivor. And today, I want to talk about nurturing spirituality through nature and connection with other people. And I thought I would just let you know how my day was today. I had quite a day. I mean, in recovery, I had quite a day. If I were to look back on my day, back when I was working, I would be like, that's an easy day. But I feel so exhausted today. What did I do? I was supposed to go make falafels with my mother-in-law, but my brother-in-law, sorry, I'm just gonna say it. I'm not saying your name. So, got COVID and then wasn't sure if my sister-in-law could or could not have it, and she was going to come too. And I just don't want to be near any possibility that I could get COVID. I already feel terrible enough on a daily basis that I'm like, I don't want to add COVID to it. So we didn't do that. We didn't make falafels, unfortunately. But instead, what did I do? I have some obsession with trying to upcycle Coke cans, and I'm failing on all respects with that. So today I cut a bunch of Coke cans and just got the aluminum middle part and straightened it. So I have about 8 sheets of aluminum from the cans, and then I took a grommet tool and I attached them together so they are 8 by 11, which is the size of a frame. So what I'm going to try to do is make some sort of artwork, whether that artwork is going to be embossed, like you turn it over and make a design and then you turn it back over and you can see the design, or I add some additional cutout designs to it. I'm not quite sure. And I don't know why I'm so obsessed with this, because I drink a can a day and I want to do something with the can. I will not rest, people, until I find a way to upcycle my Coke can. I also have, I don't have it over here, the bottom of the Coke can, which has a lovely little dome. And I'm trying to think of something to do with that. So I don't know. I've reached crazy. All I need is a cat. And I'll be a crazy cat woman. Yeah? Okay. Here we go. So I'm going to talk. So I'm exhausted. Oh, I didn't finish about my day. So then this evening, I decided I was going to cook my balti dish. So balti is an Indian dish, and there's actually a dish, like a physical dish called a balti. And I think it was all named after the Balti region in India. Anyway, the Balti dish is le creuset, and I got it for my birthday. One of the many things that my husband got me for my birthday, and it's amazing. I loved cooking with this thing. It's like a mini wok is what it looks like. So I made a masala. It was a green bean and potato masala, and it was amazing. And I made naan to go with it because I can never do just one thing. I can't make a Indian dish that I've never made and a dish I've never used without doing something else that I've never done, which is, well, I've made naan before, but this was a new recipe. So it's chaos. It's chaos. I love that. I love living in that kind of as long as everybody stays out of my way, I want to do as many things at one time as possible. And lifetime listeners, how bad that is for me and how difficult it is. So while I'm trying to converse with my husband towards the end of all of this, I can't find any words at all. Like, I'm just like blank when I'm trying to tell him words and stuff. So he's like, I'm talking and he's like filling in the words of what I'm trying to say. So we'll see how this goes because I'm still feeling very, I don't know, pumped up, I guess. So we'll see if my words come or if they don't come. And you guys can suffer for it if if they don't come. So I'm just exhausted from that. I also just, to the cherry on top, decided I was going to make sourdough dinner rolls as well. So I got the dough ready for that. Yeah, I am kind of crazy. I'm a little crazy. Okay. So let's get into the topic. I want to discuss how the topic came up today. It was the daily reflection. It was talking about connecting with your higher power. And I think it mentioned nature and people. And I thought, yeah, absolutely. Especially in this recovery period of my life, I'm finding it that I'm growing my connection with my concept of my higher power by getting more involved in nature and engaging with people. And that seems to be helping to nurture my relationship with my higher power. Now, my higher power is not just my concept of God, it's everything around me. So it only makes sense, right? I'm connecting with everything around me more now that I'm not working and I'm in recovery than I was when I was working. Because when I was working, I was just like, no peripheral vision, just hyper focused on whatever I needed to complete for work. And now it's like the world has kind of opened up for me. And so I wanted to talk about the importance of, I'm glad that it has happened this way, that I am able to grow my relationship with my higher power in this way without working. Like, I'm glad that I have that opportunity to do things, connect with nature, connect with people. I am fortunate that my stroke did not take that away from me. So as I move forward, that's a piece of gratitude that I need to not forget, that that I still have that. So the only way that I've been able to get to this point so far, and you guys have been watching the story unfold over the past year, is by getting to the point where I start accepting my limitations. And I don't know, it's not like there's been a flick of a switch where all of a sudden I get it. I accept it. I accept that I'm disabled. It hasn't happened like that. It's been like gradual where I'm starting to accept that. I'm starting to be able to envision life without fill in the blank, life without driving, life without running again, life without reading from a book, being able to sit down and read a book. So the more that I practice envisioning that, I feel like that's how the acceptance is unfolding for me. So I have found that I've had a strong desire to connect with nature. I always do feel like that. I love to be outside. And that might be where my daughter gets it from. um, I I love to be outside. I love to garden. I love the hot, sticky, you can't breathe outside weather. Like the more disgusting it is, I love it out there. There's something about it just feeling comfortable to me. Yes, I start sweating, and yes, I need water, you know. Um, and yes, I feel faint if I don't get into the air conditioning and cool off. But there's something about it that I really like. And I can't really put myself in that environment anymore. Um, I do a little bit, like I've been walking around the block and I like to do that when it's gross and sticky outside. Or I go to the pool and I need to sit in the shade now. So I'll sit in the shade when it's gross and sticky outside. But I really have to take care of making sure that I don't overheat, especially with the symptoms that I have in my head. If I get too hot or, those symptoms that you get when you are overheated, that's what I feel like all the time. I mean, it's similar to that. So if I were to actually get overheated in addition to the way I feel normally, I would, fall out or something. I don't know. But I'm finding ways to bring nature indoors. Nature has a way of kind of grounding me. It reminds me of how beautiful life is at its core, how simple it is, even though it's complicated. There's a depends on how you're looking at it, it's super complex, but if I slow down and really just sit and focus on one thing, like I don't mind just going outside, sitting down and like watching a tree branch just blow in the wind. You know, it makes life feel more simple. And that's what I mean by that. So what I've been trying to do is figure out hobbies that allow me to bring elements of the outdoors, indoors, like different crafts and activities. So my mom gave me a bonsai tree for my birthday, and it's super cute. And yesterday I trimmed it for the first time. So I really felt it was a great experience. I mean, it took a hot second for me to trim the bonsai tree, but it was a really cool feeling of getting to, like, I don't know, interact with. It was like gardening, but I'm indoors. And that's what I've been doing with my terrariums as well. I still have my terrarium. I'm going to show it to you. I still have this terrarium. So it right now it has a fern that I don't know if you can see it. It's kind of hard to see, but it's just unfolding right now. That's a brand new little fern that is unfolding. And I have the moss on the bottom and stuff. And I'm going to create a little world in there. I haven't figured out what it is, but I'm really excited about that. It's like my own little indoor garden, and I can make as many of these as I want. I can make one that is like a waterfall. I can make one that's like a beach. I can make one that's like a ski slope. And that's what I've been thinking I want to do. Since I can't travel so much, I want to bring these elements into these little worlds, like make these little worlds. And there's a guy in my morning meetings. He's the only one who goes to both of my morning meetings. And he heard me share about my terrariums this morning in one of the morning meetings. And then in the second morning meeting, he talked about how much um, he got from my share in the previous meeting about the terrariums, about building these little worlds. And that just meant the world to me. It did, because I felt like somebody was listening. I felt like somebody understood me. That's what it's like when you go to these meetings. It's like, I'm not crazy, I'm crazy about all my cooking and baking and never stopping. But things like getting so much joy from something like making a little terrarium world and sharing that, and then having somebody say, yeah, that makes a lot of sense, is cool. Um, so back to the topic. um, I'm also I'm also cautiously approaching re like putting reseating, or whatever you call it, redoing the seat on an outdoor love seat slider. And it's like that outdoor water resistant, waterproof material, and it's just the couch part, and I'm going to redo it. So it's something that I can be outside, but I can do it in the shade, and we'll see. I'm a little sketchy about that one. I'm not sure if I'm gonna know how to do that, but I've taken it apart. It's always easy to take it apart. It's putting it back together that's the challenge. But these activities are allowing me to bring that same peace that I feel on outside when I go for a walk. Since I can't do that as much, I can't walk as far, I can bring the outdoors inside in a creative way. And then what I'm hoping is when I get these terrariums together, that I can actually just sit back and enjoy them and water them, just like gardening, which I love to do also. So this is a way of connecting with my higher power in that way, that it's um, nature, connecting with other people is also important for my spiritual well-being. And what I have been doing lately is, like I was going to make falafels with my mother-in-law and my sister-in-law. That didn't work out, unfortunately, but we're just going to reschedule it. Not a big deal. I also tomorrow have, there's a women's meeting where all of these ladies come to my house and we do a big book study. And my husband calls it a Bible study, but and that makes me laugh. I don't know. And then let's see, that's Sunday. Then Monday, my mom and my sister are coming, and my nephew are coming over for tea to celebrate my mother's birthday. And it also just happens to be my nephew's birthday. And I just may have gotten him a birthday present. So I'm excited to give him the birthday present. But these are ways that I can engage in conversations and share experiences, talk to them about, I love when people come over and I get to show them all the things I'm working on, my Coke can experimentations, my terrariums, the stuff that I sewed. I also fixed my daughter's pants today with the sewing machine. I just love it. I mean, because I'm practicing that, envisioning life this way, being able to accept my limitations, more and more I'm starting to relax into where I'm at, lean back and just start living and breathing a little more. Now, I can't ignore the fact that I was approved by Social Security disability, and that has caused a huge weight to fall off of my shoulders. That has been a huge stress that's been hanging over me. And I think that that's another reason why I've been feeling a little more connected to nature and people and stuff, because I was starting to isolate. There's just, that's why I was seeing my psychiatrist and everything, because I just felt like the walls were closing in on me a lot. So connecting with others helps me to know that I'm not alone, even though I'm quite often alone or um, hanging out in this house with me and my dogs. I'm not alone. As long as I keep connecting with people and talking, then I find strength and encouragement. And even people, you don't even have to say anything. It's just like talking to me, and I find that strength and encouragement. So maintaining this spiritual condition requires me to do a daily reflection and assess my attitude. Somebody mentioned attitude this morning in my morning meeting, and they said, my attitude, that thing that other people can't see. And I've always thought of attitude as the face of what you're thinking. Like, I've always thought of attitude as what you show. But it was interesting when she said my attitude, that people can't see, because that's right. That my attitude towards life is going on before it reaches my face and my behavior. My attitude is what's going on inside of me. And that's why I'm doing my daily reflections. That's what I'm looking at, my thoughts, my feelings, my intentions. That's my attitude. And by regularly checking in with myself, I can identify if I'm having some negative patterns or negative emotions that I need to address before it gets to my face and my behavior. So, meditation, mindful activities like doing my nature crafts, all of that, if I'm starting to feel a little tooty, as it were, I'm pretty good about going up to my studio. That's this room that I'm in right now. Also my craft room and stuff, and just getting something out and working on it, start cutting up some cans. um, one of the, I think, one of the most important things about getting to the place that I am now and I can't forget it, was the very beginning of this journey a year ago, when I admitted powerlessness over my situation. I have to remember where it started. Just like in sobriety, where our journey starts when we realize and admit powerlessness and utter defeat. This concept is in step 1 of the 12-step program, but it's something that I had to do at the beginning of my stroke recovery also. I didn't know it until it happened. Because I was fighting it for 2 years that I had a disability and I was trying to function with it. And for 2 years, I was functioning with my disability until I finally realized that my life was unmanageable and I had to change something or nothing was going to change. And having experienced that beginning of recovery again for the second time, true beginning where I really had to take action. It was when I accepted that I began to explore the solution. That's how it started. And when I'm looking back at how it started and how it's grown over the past year, to go from admitting complete defeat, my life is unmanageable, I cannot go another day living the way that I am like this. It's not going to work. To standing up after crying for a little bit, standing up and going back to the my work and saying, I've got to stop. I'm accepting defeat. And it was when I started doing that I turned my sights towards where I am today. But it's taken me a year to get to where I am today. And I hope I'm expressing this clearly. I want for anyone who is feeling like you're at that point where you've just admitted complete defeat, where you've just realized that your life is unmanageable and that something has to change or nothing's going to change. You are at the point that you are changing your trajectory. And it's going to be difficult to see where you're going to end up. But as long as you stay pointed in that direction, you will get there. And I only knew, and it's only been a year. Like I've got lots of years left to do this recovery thing. But I had proof from sobriety, seeing that if I turn towards where I want to be and I consistently keep walking in that direction, no matter what, I keep walking in that direction, even if it's hard, I just keep walking in that direction. I have proof that I get to where I'm trying to go. I got to where I was trying to get. The thing is, the road doesn't end. It's ongoing. And the trajectory, that's the meaning of a trajectory. Like it's so far away. I'm never going to be able to see where I'm going to end up. But I know that where I am right now, that I'm still going in the right direction. I have to be, because I feel joy and I feel peace and serenity. And because I have that proof, when I was faced with the same exact situation where I was like, I can't continue to live like this. I'm in so much pain. With my stroke recovery, it was physical pain rather than emotional pain, which is really more of what I was dealing with in sobriety and before I got sober. But because I was able to have that experience, I can see now that when I decided my life is unmanageable, I need to aim myself towards where I want to go, and I just keep walking. And I'm telling you, there have been days that I have felt like giving up, and days that I just feel so weak. Um, but I just keep walking. I just keep walking because I don't have a choice. Either I keep walking in this direction, or I'm going to lose everything, because I'll drink. I'm talking about stroke recovery, but what it really comes down to is if I don't keep doing this, I'm going to drink. I'm going to not only regress in my stroke recovery, but I'm going to regress in my sobriety as well. So it is life or death for me to continue to walk. Even when I'm limping, even when it hurts, I just keep walking. And it continues to open the door to a new way of life that's filled with possibilities and growth. But I can't see those in the beginning. God forbid I have another new beginning down the road. Who knows? I didn't see this one coming. But I know again that if I do this right and I follow the lead of my sobriety and I practice my program and all of my affairs, that I just keep walking and it happens. The promises come true if I just keep walking. Um, so I am still learning how to accept my limitations. I'm not done by any means. I was making my dinner tonight, and when I put the naan in, I had to go sit on the couch. I set the timer. I had to go sit on the couch for 10 minutes while the naan was cooking and shut my eyes and breathe. Like deep breath in, exhale, because I was feeling that bad that I could just fall over. I know I'm not supposed to do that to myself. I'm aware. I'm aware. Don't tell me that. I'm aware that I shouldn't do it, but I did it anyway. I'm learning how to continue to try to accept my limitations. And clearly, I still have more space to do that. Learning to focus on what I can control, what I need to let go of, shift my perspective to embracing a life with a disability, and look at these little things that help my spirituality, bringing in nature, these things that I've always loved my whole life. I can still do them. I just have to change the way I do them. And if I do that, I can remain compassionate about, myself, about others, about nature. I continue to have self-discovery and acceptance and peace and all of this stuff but it takes work. I have to keep walking. I have to keep taking a step forward, even when it hurts. So that's it. I feel like I lectured today, but whatever. It's good. I'm sure it was amazing. I'm sure what you heard was amazing, and you are ready to take on the day. So thanks for joining me, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.